Hey guys, Brad here from Wild Guide Magazine. A little bit of a different video for you here today. This will be sort of a product spotlight, but what I'm doing is getting my tackle together for ice fishing. It's January, so 'tis the season. So what I wanted to do was actually make a video while I'm loading up my tackle boxes here so you can see what I'm taking along and why and how I'm using it. First thing I'm using is these are Flambeau Tough-Tainers, but you could get anything equivalent. I like these small size boxes because they're really easy to pack along. A lot of times we're cramming stuff onto quads, snow machines, or sometimes just into our pockets to walk in somewhere. These are really good for that. These actually do fit in the pockets of my hunting jacket, so that's why I like these small containers. So we're going to try and make everything fit into these today. So the first thing going into the box here for crappie fishing is some of these little pink jigs. I actually don't have a lot of crappie baits to put in here right now. I'm a little understocked, I've just realized, but that's alright. You don't need much for fishing for them anyway. So I've got a bunch of those little kind of fly style pink hair jigs. You can see those. So we're going to put those in. Most of the rest of the stuff, well, all the rest of this stuff we're going to be using for walleye fishing. So first thing we're putting in, I've got a number of blade jigs. Some of these are new that I haven't really tried before. Like these are actually made by Johnson. They're called Thin Fishers. So I mean, they're just a fairly typical blade jig, just a little different style than what I've seen before, but I thought, why not try them out? So I've got a couple of those, two different colors there that we're going to put in. And then the blade jigs I'm used to, which are these head and sonar flash. Again, these blade jigs, you just kind of tie them on and just kind of rip them up and down, just jig them like you would any other jig. We've actually used these in the summertime for lake trout fishing. These things are killer. The lake trout, we're just smashing these things all day long. So there's a little tip for you, and you could of course do that through the ice too. So those are going in. I've got two of those. This one's a little smaller, different color. So the head and sonar flash. And we're going to be kind of cramming here today because I got a lot of stuff to fit in these little boxes. So we'll see if it even all fits. Little bit different style. This is still kind of like a blade jig, but just a little different, if you can tell in the video there. These are made by Storm. They're called Thunderblade. So I've got two of those. These are really heavy. They're like solid metal. I don't know if they're lead or what. But they're also, they say they're vibrating. So whatever that means. They don't have rattlers in them, but I guess just their action when they fall. I've never used those before, so again, they'll be a little bit experimental, but they look pretty legit. So now this is something a little different. This is a sort of a lipless crankbait. These are actually made by Cabela's. They're called lipless sidekick, I guess because they have these little fish that swim alongside them. These are the part I'm not entirely sure about for ice fishing, like without that forward motion to make them swim like this. We'll see, but again, it's just one of those, let's try it out and see what happens. So I got that in a couple different colors, of course, Fire Tiger being kind of a hot color for ice fishing. And then this is a little bit of a classic, but I don't know if a lot of people are using them. This is the Rattling flat jig. So again, this is like solid metal jig, and it's got this kind of airplane tail on the back of it. So what this does is when you jig it, when it comes back down, it'll actually kind of swim this wide kind of S shape and kind of almost like a paper airplane kind of fly back down to the bottom. So it creates a lot of action, which is nice. That one just barely fits in there. So next we are looking at some buckshot spoons from Northland, sorry. So we've got a few different sizes and colors of these here. So these guys, again, these are open water or ice fishing tackle. See if I can get them out of the package here without hooking myself. And these actually do have little rattlers in them. You can see on the back side there the rattling chamber. But you can use these just as a jig as well. You can even tip those with a chunk of a minnow or something, and use them like a jig. Northland actually sent us these, so big thanks to them for that. Let's leave those in there. These again are going to be a little bit, I know a lot of people are using these buckshots, but for me these are a little bit new. I haven't used these before for this type of application, but I've heard good things. That's why we got them. And then also from Northland, we've got these buckshot flutter spoons. So again, they've got rattlers in them. And they've got a bit of a, because of the shape of them, they also have a bit of a kind of fluttering action, hence the name, I guess, when you jig them. So you're going to get both sound and visual action out of these. So that's what those look like. You can see the shape of them there. Put those in there as well. I realize this may not be the most exciting thing ever to watch. I'm taking hooks out of a package, which is proving challenging for me and my oversized fingers. See how long it is before I get a hook through one of them here. There we go. Guess I can show you that one, color of it. So those are our Northland rattle spoons. Now, the next thing we have here from Live Target is these yearling bait balls. Now, these guys are kind of the new what's what for ice fishing, believe it or not. And I know we've already put some lipless cranks in here. But here's the tactic with these. Basically what we're doing, there's a couple different ways to use this. But we're tying these up like we normally would and then jigging them through the hole. And you actually want these to make noise because that's an attractant. These have rattles in them, like crazy rattles. So we're actually jigging these to attract fish. Another method that we use is to drill 2 holes, kind of just a few feet apart, drop this down one, drop a live bait down the other. And then just shake the crap out of this one. If you have a flasher, put it down the hole with your live bait, so you can keep an eye on it. Sometimes the fish will hit this. A lot of times they're going to go for the live bait. This basically just calls them into the dinner table, so to speak. So that's a couple different ways that we're using these things. And it's actually been known to produce some pretty good sized fish. So we've got those in a few different colors. Live Target, again, they sent us these. So big thanks to them. Same thing, yearling bait ball. Little different color. Put those in there. I don't know if that's going to close or not. We'll look after. And then kind of same thing again, but a different shape here. I'll just show you those side by side so you can see the difference. But we're using that in the same way. So we're just basically jigging these lipless crankbaits through the hole in the ice. Might be a new tactic. Maybe some of you haven't heard of that before. Maybe some of you are going, yeah, we get it. A couple more versions of crankbaits here. This is made by Yozuri. This is the Vibe, 3DS Vibe. These are also Great little baits. Nice quality stuff. And again, we're going to use those in the same way. So we're basically going to be jigging those. Wow, they got those hooks all tied up. I'm going to leave it like that for now. It's actually going to save some tackle box tangles. So that, again, is a lipless crank from Yozuri. This is actually quite heavy, so it's going to be nice for jigging. And nice bright color, which is good for the ice. And another version from Yozuri, this is the Rattling vibe. This is a cool color, actually. It's kind of this dark blue and silver with the blood stain. And again, a good rattle in that one, so that's always a good thing. So the other thing that I'll fill up in here, which I don't need to for the video, is just some standard jig heads in different weights from 1/4 ounce up to 3/8 ounce. Sorry, that we'll just use for jigging live bait, which is always an important addition to the tackle boxes. So that's kind of the meat and potatoes of what I'm taking ice fishing with me this year. We're going to do some review videos on the ice of kind of how to use these and how they're working for us, especially some of these ones that are a little bit newer and more experimental for us. So there's my ice fishing tackle boxes. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Wild Guide Magazine and like this video. Thanks, guys.